So, especially for those people who are new to this webinar, what we're doing is looking at what happened in AI, and I combine my own personal unauthorized opinion with whatever happened really in the world. And today we are going to talk about what I'm doing and why I think it is a great thing to do, and also what others are doing here. So I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm showing myself first. Now, down below, you will see whatever we were talking about. And that is the last 2 years plus. That's great. We also have all the recordings. So if you go to sign up, if you go to Elephant Scale, for example, and then Elephant Scale, you go to webinars, then you will see all of the previous recordings, especially this one, this series, all the way to the beginning. All right. So here we are. And what we're going to talk about today is why I think that is the world of AI applications. Now, it is true that it is the world of AI capabilities, and that is what everybody was and is talking since March 2023. We remember when the world changed, when they released ChatGPT. But especially today, it's a new beginning, I believe, for implementing that. Okay, enough. We have spoken to ChatGPT. Anybody can now open chat.com and make what a new domain, chat.com, and ask it what it can do. All right, but what that is not new. What is new is that many people create different kinds of applications, and we will be talking about that today. So the first thing that you have here at the top is a learning path. So if I open that, you will see that by now we have 70 entries, and I think all of them are important. Andrew Ng once outlined the idea that it seems like we have to learn non-stop. That of course, he's prejudiced, he runs an educational company, but I do believe that the time has come when the education is free, available. If not, okay, if you don't do it in a corporate fashion, then it is just as available, not as free. Okay, so here we are, and I am showing you some of the courses that I'm running in addition to what they are running, but that's a valuable link. How do you get to this valuable link? Right here. That was this link. Now, what is there is this. First of all, it's the general name of what we're talking about, and today we will be talking about Jamba, and then a course there, and then that same course in my repository. We'll talk about what is the relationship between that course on deep learning AI in my repository right here, and then approvals, meaning that we have a few layers and a few people running through these same labs to make sure that they work. So that is all work in progress, right? You see that. But back to what I'm doing right now is that I believe it is a world of AI applications. First of all, I'm doing it personally. I'm paying an advertisement agency to put my shingle out to show that yes, we are ready to teach AI for developers, and we are ready to teach AI for enterprise and for executives. And it's not all that simple as you would think. I just showed you it's 80 courses, right? But well, the honest secret is that how do we teach? We learn from somewhere and then we teach. That suddenly started to happen. It didn't. It didn't happen in March 2023, but it did happen 2 years later. So first of all, I get requests to teach, I get requests to implement, and that is the same story. What happens is that people don't even know they need AI. They're not begging for AI. They just know that their solutions don't work because they do some kind of implementation with document processing, very old style, regex regular expressions, any kind of thing that never worked, but they still don't know, and they cry for help. So you come, you do a simple implementation with AI. Of course, it works, and that is what's happening all the time. All right. So one of the things I had to do was to create a trailer. That I don't think I will be showing you. That's not interesting. It's similar to what I'm doing for you here, showing you how things work. But in that case, I'm creating a course for executives. And my personal experience is with developers. So I like to say very quietly that executives, they don't understand anything. How can you teach them? And they don't code again. What can you talk about? In any case, but I have to. I have 2 courses that are already sold and honestly speaking paid for. So you see the demand. I'm teaching it month from now, 1 month from now, and right now I'm sending them outlines, and that doesn't work. They just don't understand the outlines, right? I think, tell me if you have that situation. So I'm going back to text, and my situation is that people don't understand what is AI, why it is important, very much afraid of it. We'll come back to the afraid of it. So have you ever seen this situation? Have you seen this situation? That the executives especially don't understand what they need, but everybody is speaking that you need to start using AI, and that's why I did what I've done. I created a little video and I called it a trailer. When I said I'll create a video, they still didn't get it. When I said, like the movies, have you seen the movie trailer? Well, they have. I haven't seen much, but they have, and they understood it. Oh, trailer, we get it. So fun stuff in 5 minutes, and that's what I did yesterday. Late at night, I created this trailer and sent it to them, and now the person who is buying training can send it further on. And the way it works for them is that they don't understand why it works. They just open the browser, it opens somehow in some kind of AI, and that's all they know. They don't know what kind of AI. They don't know what it is for. So I also composed 5 questions. I said, ask it exactly what it is, and it will tell you. All right. I'm not showing you that trailer because it's not interesting, but I'm sharing that the fact is happening. So for that, you can ask questions. You can ask me to enable your mic, but I'm going to continue with something else. What I'm going to continue with is the third item, and that is using AI with very long context length. So last time we spoke about, well, how is it done and what the technical challenges. Now we'll go a bit deeper. To go deeper, we'll open a slide deck that I prepared. So this is a slide deck right here. And I think it's good enough. Yes, that's good enough. So let me start it in a presentation mode. And we will be talking about why do we need that? And then we will show some of the actual working. And I need to show you. There you are. So the name is Jumbo. Why is it Jumbo? Because it's big, right? That's obviously the implication. And everybody knows that there are transformers. Transformer is a successor to all previous neural networks. Remember, there were recurrent neural networks and CRN, RNN, convolutional neural networks. Well, that's all of the past. And then there appeared the transformer that can do anything, and it can do ChatGPT. And it turned out that the secret was just give it more data and more computers. We all know that ChatGPT runs on 10,000 computers, and that seemed to be the state of the art. That reminds me of Hadoop. If you remember, Hadoop was a tool for big data. And I remember how the Cloudera CEO, Ted Dunning, I think it was not exactly, but he said it's surprising, but there are no competitors. I would expect IBM would come up with a competitor. Well, a little bit later, Microsoft came up with a competitor that was Spark. That's the same situation. So it seemed that Transformer is the king. And now comes a new model, a new architecture, and that architecture is called Mamba. All right, sounds good. What it does is speed things up. So it works better, it works faster. Well, that's the claim, but we really want to understand, is that true or no? And that's what I'm going to do. I will show you, is that really true? Is that no? What is marketing and what is real and what's the whole situation? That's because that you may want to implement something on top of that. So you need definitely to know what it is and why you should think about this. All right. So let's say a claim it is better. Well, if it is better, then we have other claims like showing you that it is a mixture of experts. In other words, all the right words, but are they real and do they give you anything? Well, let's continue. Then they show the Jamba architecture, and it is similar to transformers. So let's go. I think I do have didn't complete all the slides. So let me do this. I apologize, but let me pause this because I prepared that, but did not complete generation of the slides. So that's how I do it. I have everything done. All I need to do is generate the slides. There you are. And then I want to move these slides to the desktop. And now from the desktop, I can open it for you and I will be able to show more. So again, as I said, it is a Jamba, which is a play of words. It all started from Mamba, but Mamba was not efficient enough. So they introduced a new Jamba, which looks good for the architecture, and then it's technical gobbledygook. But that gives us a chance to remember what transformers were. So in plain words, transformers are a kind of neural network. But the previous neural networks had this problem. They were not parallelizable. That was a big problem. They couldn't run on 10,000 GPUs. And so they invented Transformer, which is parallelizable. And how did they do it? The parallelization is because you have individual tasks running on different computers. So how do you make that network run on different computers? Well, it turns out that the secret was pretty much the same secret that they used in NoSQL databases. If you look at the architectures of NoSQL databases, they have one trick. They pre-compute certain results. For example, let us say you're running a website with videos, and that website has ratings. So very often you need to quickly show what are the best and the worst ratings. So one way to do it is you're running on top of NoSQL, you issue a query, it runs through all the billions of rows and gives you what is the best. That would be the way before you start thinking in new terms. But in new terms, you pre-compute who is the best all the time. So every time that a new user rates a movie, you update who is the best. And that way, you do a little bit of work all the time. But the result is that when you need the one only result that you really need, that who is the best, you can find it because it's pre-computed. Well, that is pretty much the same transformers. They know what exactly are the results that they will need for later iterations. So they pre-compute those results. This is called attention. Attention is a funny word. Essentially, it's attention to what you are doing and what you are saying, and you record this attention so that you can use it later. Now, that is a transformer. But if you go on and on, there is a new layer. And that looks like just wonderful thing to show to the investors. So at this point, you probably want to look at the company and to see how seriously or what is about. Well, the company is mentioned. If it's not here, then at least I know what it is. So I'll show you. And that will allow us to understand things better. It's A21A Labs. A21A. Into 1, 2. That's it. So that's a startup. That is a startup that publishes, builds, and uses this Jamba. So it seems like they are showing off a platform that works better than the previous platforms. And therefore, you might want to ask, what are the investments and what is the story? That's one thing, and we will do it. Another thing that you might want to ask is, well, how does it look? So for that, we will say chat with Jamba. That is what you would expect. And you see the regular stuff, nothing very special. Improve my email, summarize some text, and answer questions. But what model are you? And that is what you do today. You just talk to it. You talk to it. It was a new Jamba model, a large language model LLM, prepared by this startup. I, says Jamba, was trained in early 2024 and therefore have a knowledge cutoff. That's a lot of questions that are starting to emerge. So first of all, do you have web browsing capability? Uh, and does it help to bridge the knowledge cutoff? That's very nice. Without that, you would have to research. Would be terrible. Life is much better now. So does that help? Let's see. The answer is no. No, I don't have that web browsing capability. And I am really the ancient days of ChatGPT. When ChatGPT appeared, it had a cutoff. And back then, it had a cutoff at 2022. Now, they do have a capability of browsing. So that's one thing that we see right away. Another thing, I already asked it about Canvas. That's the new tool in ChatGPT. How do you compare to Canvas and ChatGPT? Let's see. Well, I would say it's completely wrong because it says Canvas is designed for multi-model input. Well, Canvas is not another model, and there is no direct comparison. That's obviously a hallucination. Just for your knowledge, Canvas is like that. You just start ChatGPT and you say hello, like, how are you today? And you can misspell all you want. That's okay. It knows who I am. That's very good. But let's write a demo document. Let's write an essay for the demo. Well, about Jamba. Jamba Juice was I was thinking about, but Jamba LLM. Okay, watch. Look what happened. Suddenly the format changes. When I saw it the very first time, like 2 weeks ago, I was very much taken aback. What's going on? The format changes. Well, that is Canvas. And the way they introduced it around the 1st of January was by just throwing it at you. That's classic style of ChatGPT. So now this is your work that you're working together. It is happening on the canvas. If you want anything changed, you just tell it here. If you want anything explained, for example, that might be even interesting. Are you using your web tool for that? Are you using web search tool for this? No, it knows. It doesn't even need to put in its thinking cap and doesn't need to, well, prove the point. Let's say I don't believe that. What are the potential problem? It says, oh, mitigating bias. It's not trained properly. It's not ethical. Okay, maybe, but prove the point. There you are. On the left, it proves the point and gives the reference, by the way. I didn't say, oh, check your references. Check. A bit harder, thinking. Tries to get out of that. But you see, for comparison, that is the new tool from ChatGPT. That is called Canvas. We don't need it anymore. And you can say, by the way, start new canvas. Okay, new canvas for you. So I'm closing that. Closing that, looking at your comment. To the live Google document, you ask, what is the live Google document? So the question is, I'll give you that link to start. Moving it here, we are in here. And somehow it changed the format. But here is the link that you might need. Start from that link. I mean, that one. If you start from that link, you have all the other links here. So I'm going back to chat before we continue. So what we're doing is this. We are investigating this new Java to see how great it is. I mean, that's the claim. Well, let's look at it itself. It tells us. So here we are talking to Java, I believe, yes. So tell me this. Did you get funding? Now I'm asking Java itself what it knows about its own funding. Yes, yes. It's A121 company that receives funding and somewhere. How much? I remember it told me before. Okay, 283 million in funding. Okay, that is very good, enough to be jealous of, and all the great names. So you see how they work. They put the shingle, they have a platform, they potentially compete with the likes of what was the company that started with 8 billion? It was Anthropic. So it's the same idea. It's a new model which is claiming to be greater than all others. Where is it greater? On size. And what does it do? Well, it talks to you. So it will surely find, no doubt. Who am I to say? It will surely find the clients. But now we can, now understanding what we're looking and why are we even learning about this. Now we can go back to slides, finish the slides, and do a little lab. So here we are. Probably here, yes. Okay, now I understand. It's the technical side of it. That's the marketing side of it. And now it claims efficiency. So its major claim to fame is efficiency. And then they add more layers. They're saying, we are using another cache, okay? Everybody who learned computer science knows to use cache. And that will speed up. And now look, our results are great. Again, you need to try it yourself. But we are especially great at long context. So if you throw 1,000 books of us at us, we will not be perplexed. Maybe that is a great replacement for the architecture that's very popular today, enhanced context. There is a name, but that doesn't matter. There is an architecture where you store the data all in a semantic database and talk to that. So potential long context may be a replacement for that. All right, now that we saw that, well, when we built with Jamba, we understand it is a hybrid model. And the hybrids are popular. That's good ways to do things nowadays. It's based on transformer. It uses this additional cache. It then begins to explain that each model has a state. And that is exactly the kind of cache that I was explaining that transformer is based on, but it's a little bit better. That is the story. Well, if so, let's go to the labs. Usually I prepare the labs in my repository. In that case, I discovered a great way to just start showing it to you right here. Just refresh, and it will work. That's a lab that I can show, and that will give us some first idea of how that works, and you will get a new idea about, do you want to use it? No. All right, if so, let's start. So what we do, that's the first Jamba lab. Jamba prompting, every lab will start in the same way. It usually says, can you even talk to me? It's a hello world kind of application. So let's see, how does hello world look when you talk to Jamba? So at first, being that I'm running the one directly from deep learning, it first tells you what you need to expect. You need 30 seconds for that lab to prepare itself. Then you need to filter out warning because you don't want warning during the presentation. And then it couldn't be that long. So you probably need to say kernel, restart, and clear all output. And then let us start to run again. And again, I'm surprised that it's too long. It couldn't be that way. So I'm refreshing the whole thing. I thought I have it done very easy. Not quite easy. And then my own rule kicks in. My rule is demos never work. Right. That maybe is the proof. So let's see if it will work now. Yes. All right. So we say don't do any warnings and import obviously their own library. AI21, I think that's what it means. AI21, not A121, but AI21. We import their libraries. We bring in JSON just to look nice, and that is there. Now, the reason this works is because this is prepared lab by them. When you do it locally, and next step is I do it locally once you guys decide that it's worth it. That's why it's very nice to run it this way. Then you have a requirements file. Where is it found? Right here. If you just say open, then you see requirements and additional utilities. So if you really want to run, you need to download all of these files. but that's when you want to run locally. Right now, we're running on their nickel and dime, right? So we get the libraries, we get the secret key that they obtain from their own site, and you will have to get your own secret key. These utilities will allow you to get these keys, and if that is set up correctly, you will be able to initialize the client. Client, again, it is a standard thing that will allow you to talk to AI, and this AI, in that case, it is Jamba. All right, so then you do the standard thing here as well. You're saying, you are a concise, factual-based question answering assistant. And then, of course, money appeals to everyone. Here is a security financial filing, and I want you to say something about it. Okay, so we connect, we tell it who it is, how it should talk. By the way, there was really one nice thing that I want to show you in ChatGPT. So if you are there in ChatGPT in connection with this, and you are doing anything you want, like this one was also with that canvas, then here on the right, each canvas. Usually it is trained to understand what I want, and it says, oh, he needs canvas. So, but this time I told you, switch the canvas. Now that it is switched, look at this on the right, and that's the cancel button. But what I'm looking for is the reading level button, and there it is. So that's additional niceties, add emojis, add final polish, but this is reading level. So you can say keep the current level, or you can move it up and down. If you move it up, you can go to graded school, which is considered the highest. And you can go all the way down to 85, explain like I'm fine kindergarten. So of course, every normal person will want kindergarten. And here you are, it will tell you what it's changing so that it is better fitted for kindergarten. So it's thinking, it's showing what is changing, then it's changing. That's what I wanted to show you, by the way. And that's because we were looking at that lab, and that's a far cry from ChatGPT, but that is not the game they're playing. They're playing, oh, we're very, very performing. So here we are. We just wanted to finish that and ask this question. So we're setting the temperature, that's familiar thing, and we want a response. There you are. The response is that give me those filings. SEC filings are formal documents. I know about them. Okay. So tell us more. Here you are. That's what they are. And now I'll give you some filings. Here, I'm giving you some filings which are prepared here. It's what you would get by saying file open. And now we're giving you those filings from NVIDIA. Of course, everybody's interested in NVIDIA. And then we want you to analyze that. So that's kind of hello world today, much better than hello world as it used to be in C language. And then it analyzes those filings and brings back the results. Brings back the results, perhaps in JSON, perhaps in HTML, and then you can right away in Python itself, you can take your HTML and render it. And it gives you a result. Well, I think that pretty much gives you an idea of how powerful this Mamba or Jamba is. And I would say, if I'm allowed to have an opinion, that it has a claim to fame, it has power. Probably it does. It is not as powerful. It's hard to compete with the company that is ChatGPT. I mean, they're pretty smart, but that by itself doesn't do it. they have a $80 billion valuation. That helps, and they move very fast. But this mumbo jumbo, it has its own claim to fame and its own set of customers. So now I will look at the chat and see if there are any questions. What is Sora? Yes, Sora popped up in the ChatGPT not long ago. Yes, Sora is a combination. You know, we asked this question last time, right here. This Sora is simply a combination of Canvas and a few other things that I showed you. And to me, the most important thing there is Canvas. By the way, I am personally using Canvas by now non-stop. If I want to write anything, I'm always on Canvas. One thing that I'm doing, and I showed you, I was using Canvas. One thing that I'm careful to do is to use it, and if I want to change it, I shouldn't do a managerial mistake by micromanagement. I shouldn't change what it says. No, because then I will have to redo it again when it generates more text. I am treating it as a lazy assistant that doesn't want to do the work, but it has to. So I'm telling you, no, don't do it like this, change it. Change again. That's what I want. I'm gradually teaching it how to do it. That seems to be the best approach in human relations and also in computer relations, which is back to the same question philosophically. Is that a friend or a foe? We discussed it last time. We looked at all the arguments pro and con. Jury is still out, no decision. But what about the Sora? We discussed this last time. So if you go there and if you click on that, then what I've done is share. Now, when you are in ChatGPT, there is a button called share. I'm moving the invisible window, and it says, I will give you the link. And that's what I used. I said share, and then I said generate a link. That's the answer. And it says that it's multimodal interactions. So I would call it just another marketing trick. It is Canvas, but Canvas is a specific product. Sora is kind of marketing for we know everything. Well, you can click on that link and read it. It would be better than if I explain it. That was your question, right? Wonderful. So great. I hear, I can see the attention, because I'm showing some nice focus thingy, right? And I'm nothing. It's all the magic that I'm showing. So what I will do is this. I will pause chat for half a minute, and I will wait for the questions. So questions. You? Okay. And if you need to talk, then I can enable your mic. So I'm not there, just wait. Right? There were no questions. That is great. What you can do, guys, is send me the questions. Type them in here or email them to me at sky.ai. That is the implementation company, and Elephant Scale is the training company, and sometimes they work together. All right, so thank you very much. Nice to have you here. Be well. Have a great Friday and a great weekend and a great year.